The latest. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you all. They thought they could dissolve a revolution in a barrel of acid. They thought if they kept a tooth as a trophy and waited 65 years, we would forget. But Africa never forgets. On May 17, 2026, the walls of the Belgian colonial life finally started to crack. A Brussels court has officially ordered Etienne Davignon, the last surviving Belgian diplomat from the 1961 hit squad, to stand trial for war crimes. Davignon is 93 years old. They want us to feel pity for an old man? No. We remember the young man who signed the papers. We remember the diplomat who coordinated the unlawful transfer of Patrice Lumumba, Maurice Mpolo, and Joseph Okito into the hands of their executioners. How do we feel pity for a young man in 1961? Why did they unalive him? Because Lumumba was the Ibrahim Traore of 1960. He didn't want flag independence. He wanted economic sovereignty. The scene of June 30, 1961, Lumumba stood before the Belgian king and told the world that Africa independence was won by tears, fire, and blood. The punishment? The CIA and their Belgian advisors couldn't have that. They needed the Congo's cobalt and the uranium. They kidnapped him, beat him, and flee him to Katanga. Davignon is the man accused of making that flight happen. They shot them, burned them, and used acid to erase them. And today, the same person who was energetic in those days is before the court. You ask why? Is it because Belgium has a conscience? Don't be fooled. They are doing this now because the Sahel is rising. They see Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger breaking the chains. They see the AES, Alliance of Sahel States, rejecting their democracy, and their NGOs, like the speech that Captain Ibrahim Traore made, telling them that democracy is not for us. Belgium is scared.
One of Africa's most brutal political killings may finally get its day in court. More than 60 years after the assassination of Patrice Lumumba, Congo's independence icon, a former Belgian diplomat has been ordered to stand trial. Lumumba's family welcomed the decision as a step forward that's a little closer to justice.
Some people might ask what this is about. Is it a matter of revenge, but of reparations in the form of money or something? But it's not the case. This is a matter of recognition, a matter of understanding, and what we currently ask of the court is quite simple. We just want the truth.
Etienne Davignon is the last living of 11 Belgians indicted for their alleged role in Lumumba's death. Now 93, Davignon was a junior aide in the Belgian Foreign Ministry in 1960 when Congo gained independence from its colonial ruler, Belgium. Records revealed in an inquiry showed Belgium was working to undermine Lumumba's government, and that Davignon, who was posted in Kinshasa at the time, was responsible for providing a legal justification to have Lumumba removed from office. After his work in Congo, Davignon rose up in the ranks of the Belgian Foreign Ministry and even became an EU commissioner. Davignon is facing charges of participation in war crimes, including depriving a prisoner of war the right to a fair and impartial trial and inflicting degrading and inhumane treatment. And who exactly was Patrice Lumumba? Well, he became Congo's first prime minister after independence. He was in office for just a few months before a rift with Belgium led to his overthrow in a coup, followed by his imprisonment and torture. Lumumba was executed by a firing squad with the support of Belgian mercenaries. And to hide the murder, Lumumba's killers cut his body in pieces and dissolved it in a barrel of acid. A Belgian officer at the scene kept Lumumba's tooth as a trophy. In 1991, a Belgian parliamentary inquiry concluded that Belgium bore moral responsibility for Lumumba's killing. Activists say putting Davignon on trial is a crucial step towards truth and justice for victims. Lumumba's killing not only violently took a man from his family, it also robbed a nation of a democratically elected leader. We will never know what path Congo might have been on today. Davignon can appeal the decision, but if his trial proceeds, potentially early next year, it will be historic. It would mark the first criminal prosecution over the killing of an African independence leader by a former colonial power.
I read the news so that you don't have to. Imagine becoming your country's first prime minister only to be kidnapped, tortured and executed with the backing of a European government. Now imagine, over 60 years later, a 93-year-old aristocrat is finally going on trial for it. So the headline says, Belgian aristocrat to face charges over murder of Congo's first premier. And you may have heard of him, but if you haven't, let me introduce you to Patrice Lumumba. He was the first democratically elected Prime Minister of the Democratic Republic of Congo. It's 1960, Congo's just gained independence from Belgium after 75 years of brutal colonial rule. And when I say brutal, I mean forced labor, mutilation, millions dead. Lumumba wasn't playing the game. He wanted real independence, politically and economically. Here's the problem. This is in the middle of a Cold War, and Congo, it is rich in uranium, cobalt, copper, basically the cheat code for global power. And then what happens next feels less like politics, although that's questionable, and more like The Wire meets geopolitics. So a region called Katanga, backed by a Belgian business interest, breaks away. Western powers start seeing Lumumba as too close to the Soviets. He's overthrown, arrested, and then murdered in 1961. Also, here's the key bit. A Belgian parliamentary investigation in 2001 already admitted that Belgium was morally responsible. But now, for the first time, an individual might be held criminally accountable. Count Etienne Davignon, a former diplomat, later a top European commissioner, is accused of involvement in war crimes linked to Lumumba's death. At the time, he was literally working in African affairs connected to the system. And let's be real, this case isn't just about one man, even though he is really and was really important. It's about how history gets accounted for. For decades, colonial violence has basically had no consequences, and this trial could set a precedent that colonial-era crimes can still be prosecuted. Political assassinations aren't just history, they're legal liability, and let Western governments might finally face some real scrutiny. And the sad thing is that Lumumba's death didn't just remove a leader, it changed Congo's future. It opened the door for these decades of instability, dictatorship, and foreign influence. So when we talk about global inequality today, this is part of that story, that origin story. And so this case is really important. Obviously, this individual wasn't solely responsible for this, but it can show you that maybe sometimes history and historical wrongs aren't just in the past, maybe they're just waiting for the courts to catch up.
93-year-old ex-diplomat from Belgium has been arrested for the coup and death of Patrice Lumumba. And everyone is like, yes, justice, finally. Me, I'm like, what justice? This is delayed justice, bro. It's useless. It don't mean nothing. He's lived his life. He's 93 years old. He's got a few years left, if not a few months left, with all the stress on him right now. It doesn't mean anything. You think arresting a 93-year-old man is going to appease the situation? Are you crazy, bro? They melted this man because he stood for Africa, because he wanted Africa to develop. And you think, oh yeah, there you go, finally justice, huh? He's 93 though, but it's okay, go take him. You're using an old man as scapegoat. Have you no honor? Oh, God of mercy. Huh? And that's it, yeah? Oh, case closed. No, bro, there's still a lot. Yeah? Because of what happened to Patrice Lumumba right here, the Congo has suffered for a long time. What can you do to rectify that? Oh, just give it one old man and that's it, yeah? Oh, maybe I'm being too harsh. You let me know. Am I wrong? They're handing this guy over at 93. He's had his grandchildren, he's married, he's lived his life, sleeping in his bed in peace, while the people in the Congo are suffering because of what he did, or what he was part of. It wasn't just him, of course, we all know that. It's not that simple. Ay.
So this March, this devil of Belgium, this blue-eyed devil of Belgium, who is now 93 years of age, murders Patrice Lumumba back 65 years ago. 65 years ago. And he never get charged. Never. No, they're bringing up charges against him. Remember, this man actually confessed that you can't find none of Patrice Lumumba's body. He said he chopped Patrice Lumumba's body up. The only thing they could find of Patrice Lumumba was his tooth. His tooth. That's it. One of his tooth. They brutally murdered this man. Remind me of Tommy Rice. No difference. And that lady, that bitch, that fucking devil didn't get charged either. You see what I'm saying? So it's like we can't expect the same people, the same devil that have been killing us ever since they escaped on this planet to actually give us justice. It's never going to work like that. We have to fucking take it. We have to take it. They're not gonna. This man lives his whole fucking life. He lives all the way to 93. That's like a double lifetime for some people. He lives his whole life. Patrice Lumumba didn't get the same privilege to live and see his family, his kids grow up. But this fucking devil live his whole life. See, him getting charged right now doesn't really... It's good, but at the same time, this man only got 2 years probably left. Probably one. Probably months.
They are trying to offer a sacrificial lamb to look like they care about justice, while their corporations are still in the east of Congo, fueling war to steal the same minerals Lumumba died for. This trial is a calculated move to distract us from the fact that the colonial script is still running. So if you are an African very excited with this, you need to wake up. Is this justice? Justice is not a 93-year-old man in a coffee cart room in Brussels. Justice is a total exit of Western military bases from African soil. Justice is the return of every single gram of gold and diamond stolen from our land. Davignon has already appealed. March 23, 2026. He wants to die in his bed without answering for the blood on his hands. But the grandchildren of Lumumba are standing firm. They have joined this case because this isn't just about one man. It's about the state of Belgium admitting it is a criminal enterprise. Family, listen closely. They unalived the man, but they couldn't unalive the idea of Patrice Lumumba. Today, the spirit of Lumumba lives in every African leader in the Sahel, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. The West think they can just give us a tooth and a trial and call it reconciliation. We say no. We want our dignity, we want our resources, and we want the truth. The script is changing. Africa is no longer the victim. Africa is the judge. And these are the things we want our leaders to rise up and fight for. You can tell us how you love Pan-Africanism, how these people did whatever to us, and yet we'll still be praising the same system that they gave to us, which we know is the reason to which Africa is moving backwards. The same people who are preaching human rights are the same people that are watching us going through suffering. See how our water bodies are being destroyed, all in the name of illegal mining, from the same people that claim their NGOs, their human rights watch, yet their satellites do not see the water bodies that are destroying. Their satellites only see when African true leaders rise up to fight for the economic freedom they do not want us to have. And these are the same leaders in Africa who will still sing the songs of the colonizer. The same ones who stand on the world stage to be preaching Pan-Africanism, calling slavery to be whatever. But these are the same people who only boast of how they have been able to protect the oppressor's rule. Democracy from one republic to the other republic. We wouldn't have pity because we remember how young Patrice Lumumba was when the same person gave orders and Patrice Lumumba lost his life. This is the game they're playing with us. Everything they do is very calculative. But you still find Africans who come and tell you, let bygone be bygone. The more you let bygone be bygone, the more your resources are moving out. The more you continue to live in darkness, the more you continue to suffer. It is time the African youth emancipate himself and see through the things these people are doing. Like somebody will come and tell me, even if they sign a deal with EU, it doesn't mean that they are going to use them to harm the Sahelian leader. And these are the people who claim they are educated, yet they can see through the plots of these people. The African youth today still want people to tell them, I am coming to harm you, before they know that there's danger. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's decolonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world, in Europe, and in Belgium.